Welcome to That One Show with Brian Combs. And returning to the show today is one of my favorite guests and favorite people, period, David Prince, aka the Laid Back Country Picker. Thank you so much for joining the show, David. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you. You're one of my favorite people too.
So there's this thing on Twitter to where sometimes people will post a picture of something and they say, for every like I get, I'll make this particular thing bigger. And I think you've been doing that in real life with these sideburns, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, look here, man. I need to get them trimmed a little down here, but yeah, they're going somewhere.
They're almost going to get their own zip code if you keep them going.
That's the goal.
That's right. So we're going to talk about your music pretty much for the entire show today. But first of all, congratulations, you retired from your day job recently as a teacher, correct?
Yeah, Teresa and I were sitting drinking some coffee this morning, and I was like, "Well, what day is it?" And we said, "Oh, well, it's Monday," and that really doesn't mean anything anymore. So, thank you. It's pretty nice.
So that's really going to free you up to do a lot more traveling. I know you all have got some international shows on the books coming up. Is it Australia?
Yeah, we're going to Australia October 1st. We're
That's
there about
fantastic, man.
almost, yeah, we're almost there 3 weeks, I think.
Have you ever played there before, or is this the first
No, I've
time?
never been to Australia. I've been to Europe a couple times, but it's a long, long way to Australia.
I think it's like what is it, a 18-hour flight?
Yeah, something like that, man. It because I guess you get to LA and then that's just like a jump off point. Then you got the long ride. So
Right,
yeah,
right. I think you're going to do the Outlaw Cruise again next year too. I know you played on it before. I think they invited you back, right?
they did, man. And I just can't wait to do that too, because it's just, not only do you get to play shows and meet a lot of folks, but you get to see a lot of shows because it's just a music festival on the ocean. And it's just, there's always good people there. And I'm really excited about it too.
So, as of this recording, I think you have released three studio albums, correct?
Yes, that's right.
You got anything in the pipe?
We got a little thing, I'll just tell you, it's weird how I write, and I don't really have a rhyme or reason to it. But when I was teaching, once school starts, that just sort of consumes your brain, and you're just trying to get through a school year, make sure you do everything you're supposed to do. And then we would hit the summers, and it's like, well, now we're free to go play music. And writing music is it's just kind of I have to be in the right place and the right frame of mind to write. And I just really wasn't doing that with that last school year. I thought, I'm just going to get the school year out of the way and let that be it. So now I have some time and I want to work on some new material. I've got about 3 or 4 songs that I've recorded that are just sitting there, and I may put them out just as an EP. But I would say within the next year we'll have a new record out.
What drop a single, Billy Lugosi's Dead. I think was probably the most recent thing you've actually put out there for the world to hear, right?
Yeah, and that's been a little while too. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that was a lot of fun doing that. But then I met a guy named Cowboy Keith Thompson down in where is he, Nashville, and he had worked a lot with BR 549 and just a
Mm.
good producer. And now he actually, I don't know if he road manages or some way he's associated with the Blues Brothers because there's still a touring unit of the Blues Brothers, and he just really had a nice little studio, and we went in and cut 3 or 4 tracks down there in Nashville. And like I said, I'll probably throw those out there here within maybe within the next month.
I know you had a YouTube video that kind of went semi-viral recently with you just absolutely shredding the guitar with the LA Guns.
Man, I got to tell you this story because it's just ridiculous. I'm always putting stuff up on Instagram or whatever, and I noticed a name, Tracy Guns, was liking a lot of my stuff, and I just made some comment back to him, and we started a conversation back and forth. And I looked at the tour dates, and they were coming to Kentucky, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm going to come and see you in Kentucky." And he's like, "Well, man, I got you covered. Yeah, come on down." And so that's fine. We go a day or two, and then he messaged me back and said, "Hey, man, you want to get up and play Rip and Tear with us?" And I thought, is this really Tracy Guns? This is just insane. Because I've been an LA Guns fan. I mean, they're just a hard rock band to me. And when you say the word hair metal, I don't know if that is a negative connotation or not, but it's just good rock and roll. And so I drive down and I meet him. And man, Tracy is such a good soul. And sometimes you meet people and you just feel like you've known them for a long time. And that's the way Tracy was. He really made me just feel at ease. I sound checked with them, and they're playing louder than the word of God, and it was just so much fun. And yeah, I got to get up and jam, and that's probably not the last time. They're coming back to Louisville here before long, and I think I'm going to do the same thing down there.
Fantastic. So, let's talk about a few shows you all have on the books that people listening may want to grab tickets to over the next few weeks or months.
This when are we on the air right now?
This will be up today, which is August the 4th. It'll be up later this afternoon.
Oh, good. Well, this Saturday, then we're going to be in Glasgow, Kentucky, at the Grove, and that's just a beautiful venue down there. Have you ever been down there?
I have not, but I want to.
They need you down there. You need to come and check it out. But I'm going to be there with Cody Lee Meese, so that's going to be a big fun Saturday night. And then we go on the road. Next week we're in Pittsburgh, I think at the Club Cafe on Wednesday. Then we go to, and I want to say Winchester, Ohio, or maybe it's called the Winchester. It's a suburb of Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah, I'm familiar with that venue. I
Well,
have
good.
family that live in
Is that called
Cleveland.
Lakewood? I can't think of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's pretty much Cleveland though, and the venue is the Winchester.
Yeah, so we're playing there that Thursday. Then we got Friday. I think we have Friday off, and then Saturday. I just got to tell you this: I'm going to go see Joe Perry in Toronto. He's
Wow.
Have you seen this Joe Perry tour that's getting ready to happen?
Yeah, it's insane. He's got some great, great musicians with him, man.
Yeah, it's Brad Whitford playing guitar. It's Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes singing, and it's the drummer and bass player from Stone Temple Pilots. I mean, they're just playing little venues, and some of them aren't selling out. And I'm like, do you not see what's happening here? This is a super group, man.
Right.
So I got tickets to see them in kind of a small club in Toronto. But then that Sunday, I'm going to stay in town and I'm going to play at the Horseshoe Tavern there in Toronto. And that's a really cool place. So that's some stuff we got coming up.
Uh, I need you to, for once and for all, confirm something for me because I have told people this, they aren't familiar with the story, and I don't think they believe me because, well, honestly, it's too crazy to make up. So when you released Kingsport, which was your second album, it was during the height of COVID. So you did some kind of unorthodox marketing campaigns in behind it, including everybody that pre-ordered the vinyl or CD. You done what live on Facebook, Goat Drop Bingo, which you basically put everybody's name in a square and gave away various prizes if a goat pooped on your name. And you and Shady Boggs, which was, everybody that's familiar with you knows who Shady is. It's Tyler Childers. Live on Facebook, called my name out to win a free pizza because a goat pooped on my name.
You know, when you put it like that, it sounds like a genius move, doesn't it? When you connect all those dots and how insane all that is. But yeah,
Right.
it's exactly what we did because I'd made this record in Nashville and Tyler had helped me get it put together and actually sings a song on it with me. And we're just sitting there with it going, well, this sucks because it's COVID and what do you do? So we went ahead and threw it out there anyway. And you're right. If you pre-ordered it, we put your name across on a number. We put the numbers in a grid. And Tyler had a bunch of goats at the time, and we just turned them all loose. And sure enough, it took a little while, but then they started pooping. And you did. You won a pizza from Doc's, didn't you?
I did. It was great. Sad to see that place close down not long after
Oh
that,
man,
though.
I drove by it the other day, and it's just I want to take my hat off and shed a tear every time I go by it, man.
So, Tyler has brought you all to some shows with him to open. I know you opened at one of his album release parties in New York. It was
Yeah.
being streamed, and I wasn't expecting that. I tuned in; it was ungodly. Like I think close to 1 million people were watching that. And the first thing they saw was you come out and do party line on the old rotary phone. And I was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever saw."
Yeah, they probably didn't know what to do with that. And to be honest, I had no idea it was being streamed. I didn't know. That's probably just as well. I was
Uh,
I was thrilled to be in that venue because back in the day that was the Ritz and
right.
Guns N' Roses released that live video of them. I don't know if you ever saw it live
Yes.
at the Ritz. And so the whole time I'm playing, I was like, "Hey man, this is where Slash was." And I thought
And
it was pretty
I know
cool.
you and Teresa got to play Red Rocks with them.
Oh
And she's
yeah,
even got a live album from her set out.
yeah. And that,
Y'all,
that that was another thing that we didn't really know about. We go out there and we play Red Rocks, and of course we got Kenny and Hayden with us from Wayne Graham. And we just, sometimes you play a show and it's a good show, but other times you play a show and you go, oh, that was a good show. And we really clicked, which, we were all super hyped to be at Red Rocks and to be opening for Tower. But it was just one of those shows where you go, man, you don't get those very often. Then we found out after the fact that they had recorded it. They just, I guess they record a lot of tower shows and just hit the button for us. So we got a hold of the tapes, and Jay did the mix down, and yeah, we got a live record out of it. And man, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's a
I have.
really
I have. I think she has. You can buy physical copies on her website. If
yeah, you
anybody doesn't
can.
have one. Yeah.
You can, and we've been taking them around like at the laid back shows too, and we'll sell you a copy there. But man, I'm so proud of that record. It captured a great moment.
Um. So you played some amazing venues, and what's a venue that you've never played that you would love to just be able to play before you hang it up?
Man, that's really hard because it's weird the way my mind works. Anyway, you hear the name of a venue and you just automatically create what you think it's like just from the name. Well, because it's called this, this is what it's going to look like, and this is what it's going to feel like. And my intuition is never right on those because you go into places and some of them turn out to be way cooler than you thought they'd be, and some of them maybe not so much. I just want to play festivals. I really dig going to big festivals because you get to see other bands and it's really cool. I see things like Dale Fest, and I'd like to play Dale Fest or whatever Muddy Roots and some of those I see. I'd like to play Bonnaroo. I don't know what that'd be like, but as far as little intimate venues, they're always. I'll tell you this: I just love playing old theaters. Those theaters that were built 100 years ago that most towns have tried to restore and bring back to life. I love playing in those places. So any of the old theater like that, I would love to play. Now you're in Jackson, aren't you? I've lost you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm in Jackson.
Do you all have an old theater in town like that?
No, they tore it down, man. It
Man,
sucks.
and a lot of towns did, and we still got ours here, and they sort of refurbished ours here in Louisa. But man, you go in some of those, and they just really put them back exactly the way they were, and those are so cool.
So let's talk about the Burl because I know you've played it various times. It's probably my favorite venue in Kentucky as far as just the people there are usually a very respectful crowd. It's intimate, probably holds, well, I'd say around 900, maybe 1,000 tops. And they respect you and Teresa so much that they literally identify the bathroom doors with a laid back sticker for the males and then a honey sticker for the females. That's probably better than getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man.
Oh, it's because let's be real about it. What's more important, going to the Hall of Fame or going to the bathroom when you need to go? And I think you know the answer to that.
Right.
So yeah,
Have you ever been to the Rock Hall of Fame?
I have, man. Let me tell you, we had when I was teaching, we had a bunch of kids we took on our senior trip. So we went to Cedar Point, and the next day we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I took my kids there. As it turns out, the surviving members of the Doors were there that day. And a couple of my kids got to meet them, and it was just so cool. But yeah, I've been to the Hall of Fame. Have you been?
Oh, yeah. I went, I think 2 years ago. I loved it. My favorite thing of the entire tour, and I don't know if they still have this or they changed the performance or whatever, but they had this real intimate like theater that was set up kind of like an IMAX screen to where it was immersive and it was actually like you were almost there. And they showed the performance where Prince just absolutely blistered my when my guitar gently weeps when they inducted George Harrison. It was him and Tom Petty. It was one of
Yeah.
the coolest things I've ever saw in my life, man.
Oh yeah, I bet that is great. I don't think I went to that theater while we were there, but next time up there, I'll have to check it out.
Um, s- so let's talk about some of your just your favorite musicians that's out there right now. They don't necessarily have to be new or they could be like, what are you listening to? What's something that just came out this year that you really enjoy?
Brian, I'm a bad person, man. I don't listen to a lot of new music, and I listen to a lot of public radio stations, and they'll have all these Americana shows and stuff at late at night, and I'll hear some stuff on there that I think's fairly interesting. It seems like every time I hear a Chuck Prophet song, I have to Shazam and go, "Who is that? This dude's really interesting," and it always turns out to be Chuck Prophet. And I've never seen him, don't own any of his stuff, but I seem to dig him a lot. But to be honest, I go the other way musically because I miss so much stuff, and I'm constantly working my way back through old bands and old albums that I've missed. And what I do now is I'm not very physically active except when I mow my yard. That's the only good exercise I get. I've got a push mower, And I always just listen to like heavy metal when I'm mowing. And to me, heavy metal is like the new wave of British heavy metal and the stuff that came out late 70s, early 80s. So I'll dive back through all of Saxon's catalog, or I'll listen to Motorhead albums I don't really know. And now that, I've become pals with Tracy Guns, I had to go back yesterday. I was mowing, I was listening to some LA Guns albums I've never heard. And, that's kind of how I work my way through music. And it's really weird because that doesn't really sound like the kind of music I play, but that's really what I like to listen to.
You had a band at one time that was more rock than what you do now, correct?
Yeah, when I was playing a Night Train, we were more of a rock and roll band. The guitars were probably louder, but still, I mean, we were not a heavy metal band by any sorts. It's hard to be a heavy metal band from Eastern Kentucky because I don't know, it's just your accent doesn't lend itself to what I think heavy metal should sound like. But I'm going to say this about LA Guns, and I don't know if anyone listens to them or cares to, but their singer Phil Lewis, we saw them in Wattsburg at Summit City. Have you ever been to Summit City?
Yeah, that's a very, very intimate venue.
Oh yeah, it's about the size of my living room here, and we
Yeah.
were there to see LA Guns, and they came out, and Tracy wasn't in the band at the time. This has been 10 years ago, and Phil Lewis, the singer, started singing, and he's English. Like you could hear him talking. It's like, oh my God, I went all this time and didn't know he was English. He's got almost a hillbilliness to his English accent, and I've read a lot of people say that the people who live in this part of the world here in Appalachia, our dialect is really closer to the King's English of old than what, the way we think English people speak now. So I think our hillbilly accent is a lot closer to the true King's English. And really, that's what's important.
Absolutely. I want to ask you something that I've heard, but I've never had it confirmed.
All right.
Years ago, so first of all, tell people what subjects you taught and you taught high school, correct?
Yeah, I was a high school social studies teacher, and I could have taught any social studies subject, but my entire career, I taught pretty much government and economics.
So did you run for Congress as a project for your students one time, or am I crazy?
No, well, you may be crazy, but I did do that, man. In 2010, I ran for the House of Representatives, Fifth Congressional District, which is held by Hal Rogers, and I think it was held by Hal Rogers before I was born, and it'll be
Still
held by
today.
Hal Rogers after I die.
Right.
Yeah, I did, and my kids ran the campaign, and I went out and did some campaigning and did a little fundraising, raised about $200 there in my coffers. We took that money and we bought a couple of pieces of plywood and some paint and painted my name on a few signs. But yeah, it was a great little project, and I'm proud to say that I won two counties in the fifth district. I won Lawrence County, my home county. Teresa, what was the other county I won? I have to look it up. It's where Stearns is. What county is that?
Menifee.
No, it's not Menifee. No, it's wherever. Well, I want it. And I can't. I don't know why.
Well, I will say that I voted for you and I didn't even know who you were at the time.
I don't. Good job. Thank you. I'd like to meet the other guy in Breathitt County that voted for me.
That would probably be my wife, Dixie.
Oh, well, there we go. Because I think I got two votes there. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's actually very cool, man. A lot of teachers wouldn't do something like that. So obviously, I think I guess you were probably involved in Y Club a lot too, right?
In what?
The Y Club.
Oh yeah, man. Got involved with Y Club. I think my second year of teaching.
Yeah,
And did you do Y Club?
I didn't. Now Dixie did some, and I remember I got a text from her because she was at one of the meetings or competitions or what have you, and we had just discovered you and was really big fans. This was probably 2018, 2019, maybe. She was sitting behind you and she was so excited. She said, I'm sitting behind Late Back Country Picker. I said, well, talk to him. She said, I don't want to like embarrass him. But she was starstruck just sitting behind you, man.
Man, the Y Club is such a good thing because it's really just a model Kentucky legislature. So kids from all over the state come, they work writing these bills, and then they try to pass them, and they debate them, and then there's a Supreme Court to decide if they're constitutional or not. And it's such a good program. Yeah, and I did that for over 20 years. And if you hear me right now, put your kid in Y Club or get in it yourself.
That's right. Shout out to Y Club.
Yeah.
I,
KYA, Kentucky Youth Assembly is what it is.
I still can't get over your sideburns, man.
You know,
I
I,
mean,
I always had like the little, there's some pictures of George Jones, and you've seen them from the 70s, where he's got those really neat, sharp trimmed ones, man, and he looks so good. So I tried to grow those and I was trying to trim them, and I just don't have it. So I just let them start going. And then one of my dear friends is Fred Young for the Kentucky Headhunters. And once they started getting a little bit long, I got with Fred and I said, "Hey man, what do you do to make this happen?" And he gave me some pointers on how to really get them to do the thing. So Fred's guiding me through this, and I'm trying to get out there to his level.
I think you've played some shows with the Kentucky Headhunters. I think I saw you at the 11 Amp uh, a couple years ago in Whitesburg, and you all played. I think you all opened, and then the Headhunters was the headliner that night.
Yeah, man, and I've known them for oh gosh, we're getting close to 30 years. Going back to you mentioned the earlier band I had called Night Train, and we were together in the 90s, and I wanted to record in a good studio, so I happened to find Barrick Studio, which is in Glasgow, because that's where like some Lexington bands had recorded, and the Headhunters record there. So we went to Glasgow and met Dave and recorded the Night Train record there. And some way Dave played some of the record for the Headhunters. And I remember they just reached out to us and said, "Hey, man, we like what you're doing. That's awesome." And that was cool. And we just got a relationship over the years. And I know those guys really well now. And they're all just such cool guys. And they're such a good band. And I think a lot of people just say, it's Kentucky Headhunters, Walk Softly, or Dumas Walker. But those guys they're more than that. And if you ever see them in your town, go watch them because they're great.
Yeah, I think the son, one of the members, has a band called Georgia Thunderbolts.
Well, I'll
Uh,
tell you, one of Richard's kids has Blackstone Cherry.
right, right.
And the Georgia Thunderbolts, their connection was one of the guys in the Thunderbolts was dating Fred's daughter.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how that connection came around.
Blackstone Cherry is a pretty good band out of Kentucky. If people are not familiar with them, they've been around a while.
Man, they are, and I'll tell you, around here they'll play like little venues. They were at the Loud in Huntington or whatever. But last summer we were in Europe, and they're over there playing like the biggest festival in the whole country. I mean, they were like gigantic headlining over there, and they play Europe all the time and the giant places. And then they come here, and I guess they do okay, but they're a lot bigger in Europe.
Um, so let me ask you a question. Uh, we started out this conversation. We talked about how you have three studio albums, two of which are available on vinyl. I don't. Do you still have copies of those for sale, or are those sold
No,
out?
I have no vinyl. The only thing I have on vinyl right now is that Bella single. Everything else is sold out.
Have you ever thought about re-releasing the debut album on vinyl? I know people out there have appetite for it, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've got a dear friend named Jerry who runs a little record store down in North Carolina called King's Records. And Jerry came to me and said, "Look, man, you should put that first album out on vinyl and do like a limited release." And he said, "You should put it on green vinyl to match the cover of your sunglasses." And
Mm,
he was willing to go in and make it happen. And I need to. I don't, whenever I first started putting vinyl out, it might have been right in the middle of COVID. Getting vinyl made was like pulling teeth because none
it,
of the shops were open and the turnaround time was like 6 months. And it was such a hassle, excuse me, such a hassle. But I guess things have straightened up some now and it wouldn't be such a big ordeal. But yeah,
right.
people love to buy vinyl. I think they buy vinyl whether they even like your music or not. They just want to collect it. So
Well,
that's something I should do.
that's my preferred way to listen to music is on vinyl.
Do you really?
Yeah, yeah,
I've got my whole record collection from back when that's what you had. And I
yeah.
never got rid of it. And I still got a turntable. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really listen to vinyl that much. It's a little more convenient to me to just put in a CD. And I guess that's dating yourself too, but that's what I listen to.
Well, I'm big on physical media because you know if something's out there digitally, it could just not be there at the click of a button anymore for you to watch
You're
or
right.
hear. So if I like an album or if I like a movie, I usually like to have my own copy of it. That way, I know it's always there when I want to listen or watch.
Man, that's good. And I know this has been said by countless people, but I'll go ahead and say it one more time. When I was younger, like in my teens, and you bought an album, you really absorbed that album. Like you said, and you stared at it. And if it had a gatefold, you opened it up and you looked at everything. You listened to the album and you read everything on it. And
I
you listen
do.
to the whole album too. It's not like you pick the track you want. You listen to it all. And so
Right.
songs that maybe you didn't think were too great the first time through, about four times listening to them, those become important too. And you see the whole body of work. And I guess you don't get that as much now with people with digital downloads, but it was different. It was a different experience then.
Well, to show you how big of a nerd I am, that's what I still do. When I get an album, I listen to it in order because to me, that's how the artist intended.
That's right.
They intentionally sequence the songs in that order. From
And even thinking about things like how much time is between each song, and
Right,
there's a lot of thought that goes. Some of them slam right into another. Some have a
right.
long gap. All that is thought out.
And I always read the liner notes to see who participated, who played what, who sang, so maybe background vocals or whatever. And I do the same thing with movies. Like if I watch a movie for the first time, Dixie, she laughs at me, but I literally read the credits because I want to see who all worked on it and help make it happen because it's not easy getting art out to the universe, whether it be an album or a painting or a movie.
You're right. And I have that in common with you. When Teresa and I, which we go to theaters when we watch a movie, we sit there through every credit. And I
I do
try to read
too.
everything I can. And I don't leave until it's done because I want to know.
What's a good movie you've watched lately?
So last thing, well, once again, I'm ashamed. The last thing I watched was this thing Zeppelin put out here about what, 6, 7 months ago.
Yes.
And I can't even think of the name of it now, but that's the last thing I went to. Teresa's got something on deck she wants to go see. What is it? The sketch movie. Teresa wants to go see it.
I went and watched the new Naked Gun movie over the weekend.
Oh, that's right. Explain it to me. Who's in it?
Liam Neeson, he plays Frank Drebin Jr., the son of, the Leslie Nielsen character from the original movies. And it's very funny, man. I mean, it really is. It's the first good comedy I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, some friends of mine posted they were going to it, and I thought maybe a theater would just re-showing the old one. I didn't realize there was a new one out.
No, it's a brand new one. It's got Liam Neeson and then the co-star is Pamela Anderson from way back in the day,
Oh,
Baywatch and whatnot.
well, that's cool, man. I'll tell you another thing I saw pop up in my feed yesterday was there's going to be a Sanford and Son movie coming out. Have you seen that?
Really? No, I've not saw that.
It's Eddie Murphy playing Fred G. Sanford.
Fantastic.
So I mean, you couldn't really do any better than that.
No, no. We got just a couple minutes left. Let's talk about, are you going to really amp up touring now that you've got a lot more free time on your hand, or are you kind of just taking it, week by week and day by day?
No, the way we operate, we have a booking agent that takes care of our booking. And in order to work, you got to book about 3 or 4 months in advance. You can't just decide you're going to play somewhere this week. So my agent is, she pretty much says, where do you want to go? And, what do you want to do? So we're pretty much filled up at least probably through late November, early December. We got that thing to go to Australia in October. And then when we come back, we got lots of gigs. And then like I said, about December, we open up, then do the Outlaw Cruise, I think in March. But we're going to play a lot. And, not only is Layback going to play, Luna's trying to get a new record out. So she's in the process of writing a whole new album. And, we got to split time. And once we get her record recorded, I'm sure she'll want to go out and support it too. But we're not planning on slowing down our music. And, in fact, we're going to kick it up probably into a couple of higher gears.
I guess the song that really put you on the map was McGoffin County Cadillac, and I noticed that Tyler's got one of those in his newest music video he put out a couple years ago. That had to make you proud.
It did, man. I thought, if I taught the kid anything, it's how to pick out a good car.
The Crown Vic, you can't beat
And
them.
man, I watched it. They're haunted in that Vic, man. It's going
Yeah,
on the road.
they were going
That's pretty good.
fast.
And in the world of Crown Vics, isn't that a UFO Vic, Teresa? The Tower Vic. That's a UFO Vic, isn't it? So if you're into Crown Vics, let me teach you something right now. Like there's different body styles. And in 98, I think they went to the body style that I have now. And that's what most people are familiar with. But up to 97, they're shaped a little different and they're called UFOs. And I don't know why. But that's a UFO Vic that he had. And I will tell you, the fastest Crown Vic I ever had was a 1997 UFO Vic. It would go really fast.
How fast did you get it up to?
It doesn't matter. But it was
Uh,
fast.
is there anything you want to say before we close the episode?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure your shirt out, man. What all's on there?
It's all kinds of stuff from Ghostbusters. There's a Stay Puft,
Okay,
there's
cool.
Slimer. Yeah,
That's very cool. No, man, I'm just tickled to talk to you, and I don't know when we're kind of back down your way. I think I got something going in at the Burl. I guess it's been announced. There's a Sunday show I'm playing down there with a band called Atomic Doll. It's like a festival all day on Sunday, and
cool.
you need to come get with us. Get out of the
I
hall,
do. I
see what's
do.
going on.
All right. Once again, this has been David Prince, Laidback Country Picker. Always enjoy talking to you, man. You're probably my favorite guest that I have on, whether
Oh,
it
you
be,
say that to all the guests.
yeah, but I lie to all the other ones. I'm telling the truth to
That's
you.
it, man. I knew I could feel that.
But thanks again for coming on, my friend.
Man, I'm honored to be here. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It means a lot to the community.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Yep.